Well, here we go. We finally got a move, y'all. The Warriors have finally made a move. This week, they sign Taevion Kinsey to an Exhibit 10 contract. Essentially means he is going to compete for a roster spot in training camp. He's going to be part of the Santa Cruz affiliate and possibly a two-way player here moving forward. Now, I know that you may say, oh, who cares, whatever. But listen, in today's NBA, with this CBA, these moves are going to become far more important than they used to be in the past. That's the honest truth, because in order to be a contender year in and year out, if that's even possible, you're going to have to hit on some of these end of the roster moves. You're going to have to find guys on value and minimum contracts that can contribute at least through the regular season, and hopefully, you get lucky and can contribute as a playoff player. You talk to your gym bros, a lot of people can get their protein in and even dial in their meals, but what ultimately gets them? The sweet tooth. And that's where Magic Spoon has been super clutch. I can't tell you how clutch it's been for me. This is the little mini here, the double chocolate. It's crispy, it's airy, it's crunchy, and it completely satisfies my sweet tooth. It fits into a variety of diets. You're talking high protein, no sugar, minimal carbs, right? You're going to get the nostalgia of your childhood. Look at me smacking on camera here, right? But you're going to get the nostalgia of your childhood with marshmallow, double chocolate. The flavors are elite. The taste is elite. And the macros are elite. The protein bars, you're talking about 11 to 12 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar, 1 to 2 grams of net carbs. The cereal, 13 to 14 grams of protein, 0 sugar, 4 to 5 grams of net carbs. I'm telling you, if you're looking for a way to satisfy your sweet tooth while sticking to your meal plan, Magic Spoon is the way. You can use my code ALCHEMY or click the link in the description to try Magic Spoon cereal or treats today and get $5 off. You can also get Magic Spoon on Amazon or your nearest grocery store. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee online. So if you don't like it for any reason, they will refund you your money, no questions asked. So click the link in the description or go to magicspoon.com/alchemy or scan the QR code on the screen now to get $5 off. Taevion, 25 years old, 6'5", 185 pounds, is the all-time leading scorer from Marshall University. And let me go over his scouting report when he did come out of declare for the draft. He went undrafted. The strengths: crazy bouncy athlete, elite level vertical athleticism, makes plays above the rim with ease, explosive leaper off 2 feet, long and rangy, some offensive creativity off the bounce, mid-range pull-up shooter. That's how he became the all-time scorer at Marshall. Decent motor and energy, collects rebounds and assists, effective cutter, willing passer, solid instincts, jack of all trades, master of none. Areas to improve: he's a tough shot taker, questionable shot selection. And I can see that in the stuff I looked at, where when you have a jumper like that, it's the temptation. It's the temptation that he can make those shots. And, in today's analytical world, the mid-ranger, it's very subjective whether you want a guy to take it. Will Richard, another guy that he's going to be competing against, shoots it very well. When you shoot it that well, I think it is a good shot. It's not a good shot for everyone, right? Doesn't get all the way to the rack. I think that coincides with wanting to pull up for the mid-ranger. Can play wild and out of control. Limited athleticism because he is a 2-footed jumper. I guess he doesn't get off 1 foot as well as 2. Erratic shooting touch. Shot poorly as a senior. I don't know if he was dealing with an injury, but that probably didn't help his case for going drafted. And then he needs to tighten the handle up. And I saw that in some of the highlights. What I did was I looked up his most recent big game for the Salt Lake City Jazz team about 7 months ago and just kind of reacted to the clips here. But there's plenty of highlights on YouTube that you can kind of dive into. Again, Marshall's leading scorer. Looking at number 24 here, comes off a lot of pin downs and curling actions to the nail. I saw him use that right hand going to the left a bunch. With his length and quickness off the ground, shouldn't be too much of an issue, but I'm not sure he has a left hand. I didn't see him utilize it a lot, but what stuck out to me right away was he understands where his advantage lies, and it's in his quickness off the ground and his length and stride. He doesn't play with the basketball for a guy that likes to score the ball. And then the mechanics of the shot are pure. When you're dealing with a guy with a 6'10 wingspan at 6'5", a lot of the times the mechanics can get wonky in the gather and in the set point because of the length of the arms. But he's got a really good rhythm. It's one of those shots where you see it once and you're like, that looks like it's going to go in a lot. You probably got to get out on him. The handle, not very tight. Again, doesn't play with the dribble. He more so throws it to spots to square up and elevate, which I think is a gift and a curse with that mid-ranger. He settles for it a lot, apparently, but he hits it a lot as well. Again, you can see the loose handle, but he's getting to spots and understanding angles, moves off the ball well. I'm sure that that's what intrigues the Warriors, that he can finish well above the rim and he swiftly moves off the ball. But the shot making is there. He's a mid-range monster, but he also showed me in these highlights advanced footwork to shoot the three ball, sprinting to the corner, squaring up and getting on balance. Defensively, I think where's the potential lie? If he's, a buck 90 soaking wet, he has the length and the quickness, but does he have the strength to? There's a long step gather. Again, he's got variations. He's got different clubs in the bag when it comes to his footwork as a shooter. Not sure why this made the highlights here, but he doesn't have the instinct to dribble. A lot of guards right there with that ball, they're going to turn the ball and dribble up the court. He just quickly moves it. And so I think that that's what intrigues the Warriors, is that he doesn't need to dribble to do what he does. He can clearly shoot the ball. He moves without the ball. And then he's more athletic than the typical guys we go after, right? We need to add some athleticism to this roster. Here he is in a zone, and you're going to give him that. He's going to knock it down. That's his spot, KYP. Here's a little bit of that athleticism and that length, finishing here with two hands. Look at the footwork here. That's a nice little hezzy, and then with two hands. Okay. 2 seasons with the Salt Lake City team. He played 57 games, shooting splits 55, 41, and 68. I've been seeing that a lot with some of these scores, these younger scores, where their shooting splits suggest they're a very efficient player, and then the free throws are suspect. I can't stress enough how much a routine matters. And guys a lot of the time are missing just the simple things of find the nail, simplify the routine, and lock your eyes to the rim, quiet your eye, and lock your eyes to the rim sooner rather than later. I can't believe how many pros don't get their eyes up to the rim in time to release their free throw, but I digress. But yeah, 68%, you don't love that, especially with his athleticism and ability to cut and slash to the rim. But he averaged 12 points per game, 3 rebounds, and 2.5 assists. What I do like is you can see where they'd be, again, intrigued because he cuts off the ball, the curling to the nail action. But I like how athletic and bouncy he is. It's just been, it's the chicken or the egg thing when you talk about Kerr, system fit type of guys. Usually the guys the Warriors like or intrigued with, system fit guys, tend not to be upper level athletes, right? Because they're heady and they want to think the game. How do you develop that? Well, it's developed because you probably weren't an A1 athlete, so you had to understand angles and pace and some of the more nuanced stuff of the game, and the Warriors like those guys. So to bring in a guy who seems to be an A-level athlete but still brings somewhat of that system fit, I think is intriguing. And so I like that. But, Will Richard, y'all know how I feel about him. Obviously, Moses. Is it going to be Melton, Seth? It looks like we're going to have like a 5-guy rotation at the 2-guard spot competing for a roster position. And I'm intrigued to see him in preseason and possibly again with Santa Cruz and being a guy that they can call up and do a 2-way spot, because Pat Spencer, I don't know where he's at, but I don't believe he's with the team anymore. I saw him in Summer League sitting with Dunleavy and guys, but maybe he's our 2-way guy this year. The other guy that I brought up from our Summer League team, Coleman Hawkins, that he's an intriguing, dynamic, versatile big who I'd like to see him be brought in for training camp and with the Santa Cruz affiliate, but I haven't heard anything on that. But yeah, the Warriors make a move. I will be back Friday. Let's talk about Steve Kerr. He's given some quotes. He's given some interviews. Some information is coming out. And we'll talk about that in the next one. As always, hit that like, share, and subscribe. I'm out, y'all.